Greetings, people of the future. My name is Thucydides, son of Olorus, from the city of Athens, in what you would think of as ancient Greece. And I am here to help you. Nearly 2,500 years ago, I wrote a book. It was an account of the Great War between the mighty states of Athens and Sparta, the greatest event that had ever taken place in human history up to that point. And it's actually still a pretty important event, not least because it produced my book. What was so special about my book, you ask? Well, it was not simply an account of events. It was not an account of the past as an end in itself. It was written not for a moment's pleasure, not for entertainment, not to show off, but to be useful. You see, my idea was that if someone had accurate knowledge of the events of the past, they would also be able to understand the events of the present and the events of the future. How, you may ask, does that work? Does history repeat itself? No, it doesn't. Does it repeat itself first as tragedy and then as farce? Well, good line, but also no. Does history rhyme? Well, now you're just being silly. No. What history does is that it resembles. Events in the past resemble those that are yet to come. Events in the present will resemble those that have taken place in the past. And that's why it's useful. That's why we need knowledge, accurate knowledge of what happened in the past, so that we can then draw upon it in the present to make sense of what's going on. Well, how does that work? Well, it's all about what I call the human thing. Now, I'm very careful not to say human nature. Human nature, I think, suggests something straightforward, something simple, something predictable. And I think the one thing we can say about humans is they are not simple. They are very definitely not straightforward, and they are, at least not always, predictable. No, the human thing is about the tendency of people in similar situations to behave in similar ways, which we may not always be able to predict, but we can certainly understand when we look back at how they have behaved in the past. Above all, I am sorry to say, humans tend to keep making the same mistakes. They don't always think very clearly. They may be too optimistic or too pessimistic. They may feel more confident in their knowledge and in their judgment than is entirely warranted. And as evidence, I offer the last 2,500 years. And so the aim of my book is to reveal this human thing, to show how people have behaved in different sorts of situations, above all in situations of crisis, of stress, and of anxiety. And that means we can then understand how they may behave again. And so this is the point of this exciting new technological innovation. You see, what you really need to do is read my book. But I will be quite honest, things appear to have deteriorated somewhat over the last couple of thousand years, and so there are many people who would feel that a 2-inch thick book in rather complicated Greek may be a little much. And so, without simplifying the complexity of reality, I'm here to explain the complexity of reality in little snippets of 5 minutes or so. Thucydides will in due course, explain everything.